Your feelings are not sent by the devil. It's true. Tusikeme. What we choose to do with them is how we either choose to glorify God or the opposite, which is true. Being on this other side, maybe you're just a nice, clueless, cute
fascinating
Christian,
fascinating
and fantasizing and longing, and telling the Lord, catch for me that brother. Ile siku nitamshika. Maybe even ladies have those things.
So how do you ensure that you strike a balance such that it doesn't become, a to-do list that gives you fatigue, but you're always refreshed?
Do things that you love.
All right. Hello. And how are you? How have you been for that 1 week? I am doing great. I am well. And welcome back to Woman by Design podcast. This is episode 4. And we are picking it up from where we left it. We left it last time. We were talking about thirsty single women in the church. And I was with an amazing guest, Nyambura Githaiga. And maybe to just do a recap about the conversation that we had. We were talking about what does it practically look like to wait on the Lord. It's a statement, it's a thing that you have been told over and over, and that when we look around the society and everything around us, it's a society that is sexually charged, and then there is us who are born again and vertically going to heaven, no horizontal attachments. So how does what does this actually look like to us waiting on the Lord, and what is expected of us? I loved something that Nyambura said last week when she talked of, we are told what not to do from a very tender age. But what is it that we are actually supposed to do? So Nyambura will be taking us from there. Hi, Nyambura.
Hi, Eda.
It's amazing to have you again.
Thank you for having me here once again. It's always a blast hanging out with you.
She had gotten back to addressing the 30s. Alikuwa amesema there's a difference between when you were 25 and 30s. So I am with my 30s people here.
Our 30 thirsty singles.
Our 30 thirsty. Here we are. We are back. Please address them. Address that nation.
Well, so I think in our previous episode we just talked about the way a woman at that age has a lot of clarity on the things that she wants, and this is just not on career but also on sexuality. So you find that even if you are not sexually active, you almost have an idea of what to do with a man. You're not naive. You're not the naive campus girl. You're not the naive girl who started working the other day. Something tilts. I think something just tilts in your biology. So now moving forward, and I think this just practically applies because again, when we talk of singlehood, because I mean, it's when you're single is when you're not having sex. Okay, Christianly speaking. So, but of course, if you're married, we expect you're having lots of it. In case you're not, please see a therapist. Now,
who are marriage therapists?
No, it's true. They go see a therapist. Otherwise, why are they married?
Okay,
that's the only thing you get to do. Honestly, it's the only thing you get to do in that relationship that you cannot do anywhere else. So yes, if you're not having it, go to a therapist. But anyway, singlehood, even in terms of widows, because there's some people who've been widowed, and therefore it's no longer an option. And I think that is worse, because you know what it felt like. I think that's worse. Yeah, I think that's worse, because so you know, being on this other side, maybe you're just a nice, clueless, cute
fascinating
Christian,
and
fantasizing and longing, and telling the Lord, catch for me that brother. Ile siku nitamshika. Maybe even ladies have those things. Even ladies have those things, maybe something I should just say is that I know society has taught people to see women as tamed. We are not tamed.
We are not.
You should find us talking.
We can be wild.
So the way you guys, I think sometimes
Yeah,
say,
actually-
who your day? And I said, ule boy. You know? Atanitambua. So we also have that. Like we have, especially I think for us ladies, we have a very wild imagination. We can see a guy walking across a room. We look at him, we decide he's handsome. He can actually make a good husband. Says wako katikati ya room. We even get married. We have children and we have the
Fantasize
house
how you're called
that we are,
Mrs.
yes, Mrs.
Him.
X, you know? By the time the guy is walking
how
from
those
that
children
end,
will be
and
like.
how they'll be like, yeah, including the gender and how many, the number.
Yes.
Maybe you want 2 boys and 2 girls, you
Yes.
know, or you just want a boy and a girl. Like we have a very, very fertile imagination. Maybe we don't shout about it, but oh well.
And we look
yes,
for
but
both
we
the
do,
nice
we
girls.
do. Yes, we need, of course. Edda, you remember
See,
we
we
are
are nice
Christians.
girls. Yeah.
Very Christian girls. Yes. So what I have had to stumble upon, and I'm saying stumble upon because I've never really had this teaching in church. Maybe nowadays it is there. It's not common. But at least nowadays, imeanza kukuja pole pole. But what I've had to stumble upon as a single girl and being thirsty sexually, because baby, is there a movie nowadays you can watch, even animation,
Everything.
like just everything is just sexually saturated. So one of the things I've had to do is filling up my time. Like I rarely have free time. Oh my God. I rarely have free time. Because Edda, I kid you not, if I have free time, you know there's always that guy mwenye amekuwa kitaka kukupeleka out for coffee and you're just looking at him and you're like, child of God, are you sure you want me? I'm a hurricane. Are you sure you want me? You know? And you're like, I think in just those moments when you have a lot of free time and you don't have something you're doing during that time, you'll be like, so I can just go for coffee. Why not? And worse off, you find something that both of you can click in. You know, that's how relationships are formed.
That's how we start.
Yeah, that's how we start. Then you want to have another conversation. Now, I'm not saying going for coffee is bad, guys. I'm just saying, you know, they're just, there's a way somebody will come and, you know, this one is a recipe for disaster. Like,
and maybe
very,
just to stop, to think through that you're talking about filling up time. What are some of these things that a single, mature woman can fill up their time with?
Your hobbies. Your hobbies, or okay, I usually have a 1-4-6 rule that I read a lot and I listen to podcasts a lot. There's this lady, Dolly Sagwe, she's a financial advisor, and she talks about just having your year planned out in the sense of 1-4-6. So what is that one thing that will define your year? Like you say, in 2023, there's that one thing that defines your year. What are just 4 things you're willing to do quarterly that build you up? And what are some other 6 things you're willing to do after every 2 months, like acquiring a new skill that you think you need to acquire? So one of the things I told myself is that I need to learn touch typing. Touch typing is just where you type without looking at the keyboard, like you really know the keyboard, and there are videos on YouTube, you can get to do that. I love cooking, but nowadays I rarely have time for it. But once in a while, I'll be like, we are making a cake. Rain or sunshine. Cake. Oh yeah, you eaten my banana cake. Oh yeah, yes. So I have those days I'm like, I am making this cake. Rain, sunshine, whether talala sasaba, I'll do this cake, So how I have filled up my time, basically, I have done a lot of my hobbies, music, cooking. I'm sort of like getting back into it and just trying new things.
You should just hear Nyambura. Oh, this lady, especially with Oprah, next time she has a concert, you better be there.
So just getting back to music, taking my classes seriously, doing my assignments. Okay, I'm a teacher. I'm the person telling people to do assignments. So I try and do my assignments. And also in terms of, like there's every day there's something I am doing after work. Because after work is when the devil comes in with a big spoon.
Your mind,
your mind
his workshop.
Yes, it becomes his workshop, his dwelling place until tomorrow morning. And you have to wake up. Yeah. So a lot can happen between after work and going to the house and tomorrow morning. Yeah. A lot can go wrong during that time. So after work, there's always something I'm doing between like Monday to Sunday. Yeah. You tell me, so Monday maybe I have Bible study. Tuesday, I don't know where I am on Tuesday. Wednesday, I think I have prayers. Thursday, I think like I usually leave that leeway maybe for my own personal time, things I want to do like journaling. Friday, what do I do? I've forgotten what I do on Friday, but I have an engagement on Friday that sees me maybe up to around 9 or 10 p.m. So by the time I'm coming to the house, I am tired. Beaten. By the way, there's only one thing in my mind, or two: food and sleep. And sometimes food is not a priority. Yeah. Sleep is a priority. Saturday, I have praise and worship practice. I don't know, I have my music class. Sometimes I have other classes of other things that I am doing. Sunday, I am Mama Kanisa fully. Mama Kanisa. Mama Kanisa fully. With Monday, repeat with our long vitenges and church-like clothes, you know. Monday, repeat.
So how do you ensure that you strike a balance such that it doesn't become, a to-do list that gives you fatigue, but you're always refreshed?
Do things that you love. Really do things that you love and things that give you joy. Because I want to imagine if somebody is working, you're working and or even if you're not working, you're just in between places, trying to get something to do. You do not want to leave that space of either working or hustling and come after work and still hustle. You really don't want to do that. So for those of you who might not be clear about your hobbies, I think just find things that somehow make you happy when you get to do them. I have a friend of mine who goes for swimming. I don't know how swimming makes her happy, but it does. Okay, for me, no, can never be me. I enjoy swimming to a certain extent, but not the kind that I can dedicate something weekly. That's no, can never be me. So find something that you love doing. If you're not really clear about your hobbies, that's the space to try out things. Because in the midst of trying out those things, you'll actually find something that you enjoy doing.
And I think it's also a process of self-discovery.
Yes, it is a process. I think for some people it happens faster than others because there's a lot. Maybe how you were brought up. Maybe you were told that thing which was your hobby, you were just told there's nowhere this thing is going. So at some point you sort of like hid it somewhere. So just trying to rediscover that. I think sometimes also life can deal you a good one. Life can show you a good one so that you feel getting back into that space. You feel like you're too old for it. You feel like, I can't do this. Like I'm too old for it. But you know what? Just get back to it. Because you only start with that one thing. You realize something you're good at. You don't struggle. You really don't struggle doing it. So yes, Edda, fill up your time. The other thing, have girlfriends you can talk about anything and everything, because this life we need to vent. We need to vent, Edda. Like just have girls. You will, and I insist, girls, please. This whole thing, but maybe you need an episode of this. Just saying that my best friend is a guy. Akitwache kundanganyana.
We need an episode on that.
We need an episode on that. And I'm not saying, please don't misquote me. I am not saying that it's not possible. It is very possible to have very close relationships between the opposite sex. But it's something you need to be careful about. It's something, because I'm imagining, assume I was married and I know that my husband has a very close friend and that close friend is a lady.
How would you feel?
Yes. You see, it slaps differently. Now, if you're single, there is Sahaya. Hapo ndo nasikianga, I don't know what happened to Lijipata tu. What do you mean? What do you mean it just happened? It just happened. How? No. Sex is very planned. No. By the time unatoa nguo, do you know how many clothes you normally have? And then you want to tell me it just happened.
It just happened.
Can never. Edda. But yeah, there's a lot of checks and balances you need to put in place. But just having a group of girlfriends, and sometimes they don't need to be many. You probably just need one or two, and you're good to go. Maybe if you're a parrot like me, you can have 5 or 7. Yes, because I am able to sustain conversations. And that gets to a point and she's like, please, mwende kwenyu.
Nimechoka.
Then there's me, the child of God, who can wake up at 3 a.m. I'm like, so Eda, nilikuwa nakwambia hivi jana
kama haujaamka saa hiyo. Energy when you're waking up and going to sleep, same.
Guys, my energy is always like this. Even at 3 a.m.
Kiamka umeamka.
Nikiamka nimeamka.
Watu wajua shida yenu ni nini?
Yes, please, those people who wait upon the sun. Here I am your son. But just have people you can have very raw conversations with. Because it doesn't, simply because you don't talk about it doesn't mean you don't think about it. The sooner you admit that, the better it is for you. And just knowing it is not ungodly for you to have those conversations. You can actually just say, hey, that guy, God, you're like, hey, God took an extra day. God, that one, he took an extra day. But that was a special material. It doesn't have many people. You will have those conversations. And you realize once you talk about them, there is always somehow a sober person, you know. Or even if both of you are not sober, your seasons of not being sober are not the same. There'll be always that one who's doing better than the other. Because having those conversations, it's when you feel that, and especially if you've been sexually active before, and therefore you're practicing secondary virginity, it's harder. It's harder because you know what it feels like. But you see, it's very different when you're practicing secondary virginity and you have a girlfriend you can have these conversations with. Unaweza mwambia, hey, today can I come spend over at your place? Because if I spend at my place, I will call so-and-so. And you know so-and-so has been disturbing me. See, you know we've been chatting with so-and-so. And we've been WhatsApping each other. See, I just come and spend at your place. Imagine that's another day. It's a simple victory, but that's just another day that you've really walked with the Lord and you have won. Yes, and you have won. So when you have such kind of relationships, there's a way they help to keep you on check. So somebody will be like, hey, and you've been talking so much with so-and-so. Is there anything you want to tell me? Is there something you want to come clean about? Because we were never meant to do life alone. Life, we are built for relationships, and we are very social beings. So it helps when you have those people that you can have very candid conversations with and very genuine conversations. And they don't need to be many. Even that 1 or 2 people, you are set for life. Like you're good to go. And also, just to say something, it's important to keep those conversations because life has a way of happening and becoming busy. Therefore, it's very easy for you to grow and fall apart. And it's not where like you decided that you're going to fall apart. Life just happens. So then it's important, have conversations, not even on sexuality in church, but have conversations like, how are you saving money? Like, what are you doing with your money? I mean, when you get your salary, what is it that you do with it? Can we try this? Can we try the other? Or maybe if you feel money is a thing that will break you apart, just say, baby, I've been reading this or I've been listening to this podcast. What do you think? Yeah? So that as you grow in your different stages of life, these are friends you get to keep. And all friendships are sweet, Edda. They are, because they're just things you will look at each other and
ask
know.
The old folks.
Yes, you will know this one is thinking like this, you know. But when you meet newer friends, it's just bits and pieces of your life that you may not be comfortable sharing, or you might not even have that time to share. So grow together. So in this journey of thirsty singles, what I have had to stumble upon is 1, fill up your time. Don't have excessive free time. Number 2, have friends. Have girlfriends that you can talk with anything.
What about
and everything?
Those girls who say, wow, patanangi na
wasichana. Work it out. I think I used to be like that. I've told you, mine is boys' hostel. As a matter of fact, even my cousins, a majority of them are just boys. So tell me about hunting and going out with dogs. I'll even tell you which dog can sniff better than the other. Like, I know those things. So I did very little of Kalongo, Chamama, Chababa. I used to be that girl who roughs the boys up because I'm not getting what are you telling me.
Yeah.
So I get it. But it's possible. Relationships are built and relationships take work. Staying alone is a choice, and choosing not kupatana na other girlfriends, it also takes work. Just choose which work.
Choose the work that
choose
you
the
want
work
to
you
do.
want to do. Yes,
Okay.
just choose the work that you want to do. Choose your heart, choose your struggle.
Okay. Wow, I hope you're loving the conversation so far.
Stay single.
The parrot we are having here. Because ourselves. Yeah, what are you processing? I would actually love to know what is it that you're processing as we have this conversation on the comments section. And I think Nyambura has been very candid and very honest when it comes to this topic, and also just looking at the things. What are we expected to do? Because that is what the conversation was to focus on this time round. That what are we supposed to do? Number one, we have highlighted the place of girlfriends. I think personally, I feel attacked.
Personal.
I feel she has come too personal to turn on after this off the air. So it's really important that we capitalize on having friends, and the fact that she has emphasized we're not just having conversations on sexuality. Talk about finances, talk about your hobbies, talk about travels, going have fun together with your fellow single ladies. Does that still include being with the married women?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just things, because by virtue of them being married doesn't mean you can't relate to them. Because some of them are actually very candid in the sense that they'll just tell you stuff, yeah? And even just not just narrowing it down to sexuality, but maybe there are things that you admire about them. Maybe there's just a certain mama whose fashion is on point. Just those little things. They really help. Yeah.
So build on your girlfriend network. Build on having ladies around you. I really look forward to having a conversation. I hope I will have you as we talk about sisterhood and girlhood. And those most of the times you're actually accused tuko na moshene. My friend, it's a survival tactic.
But then that's how we cope.
That's how we cope, because where else should we go to go to Harper? And I think the other thing that you have highlighted is fill up your time. And to you, my dear viewer, how do you fill up your time? What do you do after you come from work? After 5 p.m., what is it that you just do? And I pray that you will find, you'll have a moment with yourself and reflect and just get to fill up your time. Find things that you enjoy, discover yourself, be out with a friend or even alone, and just reflect and get to, get to see the inside of you and the things that you love doing. And because of the time factor, we'll be wrapping up this. I hope you have learned. I look forward to having an engagement concerning this, both in episode 1 and in this episode, as we let's just engage on the comment section and get to hear what are your experiences for you in your time of being thirsty and all. How has it been for you? What are some of the things that you love us to, to work with? You want us to work with you when it comes to this podcast? What are some of the conversations that you actually want us to engage together? So I'll give Nyambura this time to just give us a parting shot and wrap this up.
Your feelings are not sent by the devil. It's true. Tusikeme and just for especially the older women in church, because Eda, you see, the thing is, especially in the previous generation, most people got married. By the time they're hitting 25,
they were married. They were having children.
So you really don't know what it means to have your own money, your own house, And
no
just
man.
and no man.
And you're over 25.
And see at ile, they're not within the vicinity. There's no one.
Kuna
When you
mwenye
scroll your
unanusa
phone book,
huku.
no one. It's just
Yeah.
you and the Lord and the Holy Spirit. Yeah. So when they tell you to kemea, I don't know what exactly we are kemearing or what we are rebuking for maybe the non-Swahili speakers, but your feelings are not from the devil. That is one. Your feelings are not demonic.
They are valid.
However, it might also be ungodly for you to actually fan that flame, either through the things that you watch, that can be pornography, or just entertaining lustful thoughts. Now, that is where the sin comes in, but the feelings in and of themselves are not wrong. What we choose to do with them is how we either choose to glorify God or the opposite, which is true. So when you get those feelings, ladies, especially in your monthly cycles, go to your friend, rant, take yourself for coffee, buy yourself chocolate, go for a run, do something. Don't sit
like
in
a
that
girl.
house. Yes, feel like a girl, but fill up your time. Don't sit in that house. You will make a mess of it. And maybe for those of us who really struggle, I'll just be bold enough and tell you, if you know you're dating and you constantly keep on doing this, maybe get out of that relationship. It's not glorifying God. In any way, it's not glorifying God. If you're hanging in there, continue hanging in there. You know, nowadays people are crazy. Like, there are people doing a similar podcast that we are doing, discussing about sex and the different styles. So I don't know where even we are supposed to go. But just hang in there. Really do hang in there. The Lord is faithful. And here I'm not going to tell you the Lord is faithful, he'll give you a husband. I don't know. I just know he's faithful. I don't know how he'll choose to glorify himself in your life. It's true. So I'm not telling you the way we were being told, oh, you know, when you're virgin, you get a good husband. That is not true. There are people who've gotten married as virgins and they haven't. That's a whole conversation on its own. So let's take God for who he is. His promise of just being faithful. How that will translate in your life, I do not know. But hang in there. Your feelings are godly. What you choose to do with your feelings, then that is where we either glorify God or we glorify the devil. Yeah.
Thank you so much for for coming by to just watch this episode. I have personally enjoyed and learned on this banter. My team here is saying this woman is oozing wisdom. Should we bring her again? I think I'm just loving this. Your mother should hear Nyambura wangu. I have really learned and enjoyed just having the conversation with you, Nyambura. And you have said that's another conversation. I hope we just get to have those conversations because truly you're an amazing one. And to you, my audience, thank you for being a faithful audience and for just passing by to see what we have for you. And like I said, please let's keep interacting in the comment section and getting to hear your side of the story. I have been your host, Edanzia, and this is Women by Design. Until next time, cheerio.